What's up everyone? In today's video we'll be covering all of the Season 10 patch notes that have just been released from GameSpot. It's unclear if these are all of the patch notes that we would be getting, but regardless I have a lot to cover. There's buffs to Caustic, Horizon, Fuse, a Revenant change, changes to weapons, Hopups, attachments, a lot to go into, so we got to get right into it. First, let's talk about the weapon changes. The Prowler is coming out of the care package, and although this was rumored, it had yet to be confirmed. However, this time around there will be no select fire Hopup coming with it, so the Prowler can only be used in its burst mode. It was not listed that the DPS or fire rate was changed, so I guess we'll have to wait a few days to see what the complete deal is with the new Prowler, because in its place, if it just released on the ground in the same burst mode, I mean, that's kind of scary to think about, but I imagine they nerfed a few other things, but we'll wait and see. All right, we also know that the Spitfire will be going back into the care package along with the alternator with disruptor rounds. Okay, so if you didn't play before Season 3, you will be in for a treat. Disruptor rounds amplify the damage on the shield of enemies. So it's essentially the opposite of what Hammer Point used to do. And this is going to make the alternator an amazing gun. And it should be something that people really look forward to picking up if they find it in a package. As far as the Spitfire, well, we know it's going in its pre-nerf state. So I assume probably the Season 8 version. And since that's the case, the triple take has to be coming out because there's no way they're taking the Kraber and putting it on ground blue. So these are some great changes to the weapons, and before I get into some more weapon changes, let's move real quickly to talk about the legend changes, because these are really interesting and I think you guys are going to want to hear this. So for Caustic, he did get a buff. His gas, instead of doing 5 ticks of damage per second, it now will increase in damage every other second. So it's going to be 5 damage, 6, 6, etc, etc, with no limit on how much it can increase. And the gas cloud, which is his ultimate, it's going to dissipate 5 seconds sooner. So although the gas damage got buffed, the ulti kind of got nerfed. Like, we got to actually wait and see if this is going to be a true Caustic buff, because right now I'm a little hesitant to call it like this crazy buff. It's great that the gas goes up in damage, but it's not great that his ultimate's weaker. So we're going to have to wait until the 3rd when the season drops to try this out. For Revenant, we do have a change. I would describe it as a slight nerf. Enemies will get an audible and visual indication when the death totem's protection is about to end, letting them know that Revenant and his allies are about to be vulnerable. This should alleviate some frustration when it comes to fighting Rev teams in Totem, but we still need audio for Octane's jump pad. I feel like that's the biggest issue with it. It's not just the totem push that's the issue, it's the closing the gap between your enemy and where you put your totem. Being able to rotate like 100+ meters with no audio and flying to someone's face has always been the problem with the Revenant totem. So we gotta wait and see if they change something with the audio and Octane's jump pad. Moving on to Horizon's buff. Horizon's ability to maneuver while in the air on a gravity lift is adjusting to be closer to how it was in Season 7, prior to her substantial nerfs in the following seasons. They're saying it's not a total revert though. And I honestly think this is great, because a total revert would make her really unbalanced again. And this should make her a harder target to hit, but also make her not so easy for her to outplay you with her Q. And I hope this is the true balance that she needs. All right, so Fuse got a buff, and I think it's probably the craziest one out of them all. Fuse's knuckle cluster will last twice as long, allowing him to deny areas for longer. Enemies caught in his Motherload ultimate will be highlighted, even if they're in a building or behind a wall, making it easier for Fuse and his allies to plan their follow-up attack. This buff is low-key scary because of the knuckle cluster. The knuckle cluster, although it's hard to hit your enemies a lot of the times, when it hits, it does a good amount of damage, it can break through doors, and it already lasts for like what feels like 4 to 5 seconds. So this is kind of crazy to think about that it's going to be double. Not sure if that means the damage is going to be double, because that would be crazy, but we got to wait and see as well. But for Fuse, I think this brings him up a little bit. I wouldn't say he's meta all of a sudden, but he has much more utility. If you're enjoying this video, please be sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps me out tremendously and it will only take a second of your time. We've got a lot more weapon changes to go over, so let's get back into it. We got to talk about some of the Hopups. The Anvil Receiver and the Quick Draw will be removed from the game at the start of Season 10. The traits of the Quick Draw will be automatically implemented into pistols, though to a lesser degree. So we're going to have a quicker ADS speed with guns like the Wingman, the RE, and I'm assuming the P2020. We're also going to be able to have a smaller hipfire spray. In exchange of those two Hopups' place, Apex is getting a brand new Hopup called the Boosted Loader, and this goes on to the Hemlock and the Wingman. This is changing the guns so that they reload faster and get bonus ammo if reloaded at the right time. They're saying it's similar to Deadeye's tempo. It's a timing-based hop-up. Now, the jury's still out if this is going to be helpful, but I do know reloading the wingman faster is really great because the wingman obviously only has 6 to 9 bullets. Now, we've also got a change coming to the L-Star. It's going to take a barrel stabilizer now and extended energy mags. Higher level energy mags will increase the time it takes for the L-Star to overheat, and it will cause it to cool down faster when it does. So it sounds like the L-Star is going to be much more in the meta in terms of weapons. Because if that thing doesn't have as crazy of a recoil pattern for like those mid-range engagements, the L-Star is going to be extremely viable. And I think the energy mags will also help people better understand when they need to stop shooting so the L-Star doesn't overheat. I'm hoping this gun is good, but I hope they also change how the visual effects really disorient the enemies when they get shot by it. We've also got a nerf to the EVA 8, which is really exciting because that gun is insanely overpowered. So it looks like they're going to nerf the EVA 8's fire rate when the bolts are equipped. In other words, the base EVA 8 doesn't seem to be getting touched, but they're just going to nerf the fire rate for each of the shotgun bolts. This is ultimately what is making the EVA 8 so strong this season. It's just the time to kill on it is insanely faster than any of the other shotguns. So I'm really excited for this change. They're also saying that reload speed will no longer be tied to extended magazines starting in Season 10, which is really interesting, and that this trait will now be tied to standard stocks and sniper stocks. And speaking of sniper stocks, they're saying marksman rifles will start taking sniper stocks in Season 10 as opposed to the standard stock. So we're talking about weapons like the Scout, the 30-30, and I don't think they're going to add a stock to the bow, and as far as the triple take goes, it already takes sniper stocks. Alright, and according to the director at comms over at Respawn, he recently tweeted out this GameSpot article, which I will link in the description if any of you guys want to check it out. And he said, this season we gave press some early access to info, including their dev stream, and the full patch notes are still due out next week, so there is still more changes coming. Now I'm just going to cover a few more changes to wrap up the video. We do know that Valkyrie and Horizon are going to get the legendary skins in the battle pass for Season 10. We know that the Volt SMG is going to get the legendary reactive weapon skins that you unlock at level 100 and 110 of the battle pass. You can see those skins in the Season 10 gameplay trailer that was released earlier this morning. We know ranked arenas will be dropping in Season 10. We also know it's going to be a different point system than the Battle Royale ranked. And unlike BR rank, there is no entry penalty to ranked arenas at the higher ranks. You don't earn points based on how many kills and assists you get. You simply gain points for winning and lose points for losing. And your arena's rank will exist separately to your Battle Royale rank. The arena's ranked rewards haven't been announced yet, but I have to assume they're going to be very similar to the Battle Royale rewards. If you guys enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider subscribing. I'm going to be posting a ton of solid content for Season 10. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.